deep to left center field. Back it goes and gone. The 0-2 pitch. Hey, struck him out swinging at 101. Swinging a drive, left field and deep. Back it goes and gone. And the Twins walk it off again.
As we have regularly on this program, we've got the voice of the Minnesota Twins on Twins TV, Cory Provus, joining us. Longtime listener, first-time caller. We appreciate you being with us here this morning. How you doing, Cory?
I'm fine, Isaac. It's good to be with you.
I appreciate, again, you being with us here today. We're talking Minnesota Twins baseball. We are not coming off a game last night, but an off day, a travel day now to the Bronx. Twins will be set to take on the New York Yankees this weekend. Twins are coming off their first winning month of the season, 14-13 record, capped off by a couple series wins. How's the team feeling at this point, do you think, coming into this weekend here?
I think they feel confident knowing that as we chat here this morning, they're the best American League team in terms of generating runs. They have been the best offense in the American League in terms of run scoring, and this is not a fluke. This will be game number 89 of the season here tonight. To me, and I think I've asked a few coaches about this too along the way, they have completely exceeded expectations in terms of, I think, slug and offense. I mean, I think the season that Byron Buxton has had, nobody's shocked with that. We're talking one of the top players in the game, but Brooks Lee has had a good year. Cody Clemens has been great. Trevor Larnach's power is coming around here a little bit. What the Twins got last month offensively from Victor Caratini and Josh Bell. When we talk about free agency, the Twins, they did not do a whole lot, and their two big pickups were pretty quiet in April and May, and then calendar flipped to June, and Bell and Caratini were fantastic. And I've been going to Dyken Park, and then it was Minute Maid Park. It was Enron Field. I've been going there, since 2007. I have never seen a ball land where Bell's home run landed the other night. And yes, they've reconfigured that. They've reconfigured that ballpark. Tallis Hill is no longer there. But, man, clearing the batter's eye in center field, boy, not too many have done that.
I think if Tallis Hill had still been there, I think that home run the other day by Josh Bell had an opportunity to still clear that. Speaking of Josh Bell, what has his presence been like? Again, as you mentioned, a free agent pickup from a year ago, couple home runs against the Astros. What's production like from guys like him mean to this group of guys that are still, a lot of them still trying to get their feet wet here in the majors?
Well, I think it's what's good to see, and I think with Bell, what's important is it's one thing and he's rarely alone. Like, he is somebody that he has teammates around him a lot, and for a good reason, because of all he's been through. He's been a top prospect, high draft pick, some success, some failure. He's bounced around different teams. He's been traded. So I think he's a guy that a lot of people flock to, especially this time of year. When you don't know what tomorrow might bring. That's all good and well if you can talk about it. You got to do it. And he's doing it right now, too. He's not just leading by mouth. He's leading by play. And that to me, is important. And I think while he doesn't play too much first base anymore, he is somebody that Royce Lewis can lean on and ask and talk to about how to play the position and where to be and how. So without Justin Morneau around every single day, there is that player that he can go to that's not a coach, that can speak to him and give him advice about performance and about, style and where to be, positioning, if you will. So he just checks a lot of boxes. And I think the Twins knew that going in, but I think they were looking, too, for some power. And his second half was really good last year. After he went back to his old swing, he tried something new at the beginning of 2025. It was a massive failure. And then he went back to his old swing. And if you look at his baseball card, this is what he does. Once you get to June, the weather warms up, the bat warms up, and he starts to produce. And that's what we've seen from Josh Bell.
Coming off that June where, again, as we said, 14-13 record, first time that's happened for this team. You have 3 consecutive months where you're 2 under 500, 1-3 in March, 13-15 the last couple months. Does something like that, does the team pay attention like, hey, we have accomplished something last month that we didn't do the first few months of the year. One, do they pay attention to something like that? And if they do, what does that do for morale in the clubhouse?
I think they do pay attention. And what normally happens when you have a winning month is that you're doing not just one thing well, but many things well. But if you look at some of the numbers, the offense is doing great. At the same time, the pitching hasn't been very good. So the Twins have played a lot of long games here, Isaac, because they're scoring a ton of runs, but you know what? They're giving up a ton of runs. So that they've had to just overperform. I think they've had to, move past any and all projections because the pitching is not doing great, especially the bullpen numbers. I mean, the bullpen numbers are ugly. They're at the highest ERA in the game. The starting pitching numbers also were climbing a little bit better here and there. But normally when you have a stretch and you've won whatever it is now, is it 8-12 or 9-13, you're checking a lot of boxes. You're hitting, you're defending well, you're getting sound pitching, the bullpen. Well, that's not all happening. So to me, it's about the offense. And yeah, you're going to have Todd striking out 11, and outside of Joe's last start, I mean, Joe's been really good. The guy going tonight, Mike Paredes, has been a welcome surprise, but Andrew Morris has been great. Yoendris Gomez has been great, but that's really about it. There's not a whole lot you can lean on with the pitching side of things. This is about the offense that has absolutely been carrying this team now for a while.
Yeah, we had a couple moments, at least a couple weeks ago, where it almost looked like the Bomba Squad version of the Twins was back in vogue with the amount of runs that they were scoring. Speaking of some of that offensive production that this team's been getting throughout the year, Byron Buxton's been, talked about on this show in particular with you a lot. We're hoping still that he will hear his name called as an all-star starter this weekend. What say you about the way that things have gone? He was number 2 in outfield voting through phase 2. What say you about his chances of being named a starter in Philadelphia?
Oh, I think it's going to happen. I mean, with Aaron Judge hurt and Mike Trout hurt, I think, and Judge, he's not going to be healthy enough to play. Trout's a maybe. I think I think Byron's going to start, which he should. I mean, he should have started last year. And it's simple as Tiger fans voted more than Twins fans. And that's why Javi Baez was a starter and Byron Buxton was not. It had nothing to do with performance. Byron had better numbers. It was just who came out and who voted. And more Tiger fans voted than Twins fans. Those are the facts. If you go back to last year, not the case this year. And Byron is deserving. And I think Twins territory. And I think the game. I think, the game knows. And I think fans know. And he's somebody that people want to see. He is somebody that you buy a ticket for. You want to watch him play. And he has yet to play on this road trip. But it sounded like he was trending in the right direction. History says that he'll DH first and then come back. And that, kind of puts the Twins in a tough spot because Josh Bell is a much better DH than he is a first baseman. And I think he'll tell you that too. So if that is the case, but maybe we're wrong. And, the off day yesterday was all that he needed and that he'll be good to go and play in center tonight. But if he's not playing tonight, then I think a roster move is coming. I just think you can't play this short, this long. You're going into a stretch now. We have some games coming up. You have an off day on Monday. I get it before the Cleveland series starts on Tuesday, but you don't want to be short. You just don't. And so I would expect. It sounded like Byron was trending in a good way when Shelty spoke about it on Wednesday with the off day yesterday. That I have a good vibe that he'll be back at some point during this Yankee series.
Voice of the Twins, Cory Provus, joining us here on Hot Mic this morning. When you talk about Byron Buxton, he's, again, as you said, a likely vote for the American League team. If at this point the Twins were to get another representative, at least for those that, have been, following along with this team, what would make the most sense for if John Schneider, the American League manager this year, if there was to be a second Twin on this year, who should fans be thinking might be that second option?
I think Joe Ryan. I think the same two guys that went last year will have a good chance to be there again this year. Joe's last start wasn't his best. He doesn't pitch well in Houston. I think he's a fly ball pitcher. It's a hitter-friendly ballpark. It's just not a good venue for him, and that's why he didn't pitch in the playoff series there in 2023. And that's why they kind of moved Bailey over to game 1, and then Pablo went game 2, was for that reason. And Joe went game 4 at home. So that was a part of it too. And I think that should not take away what Joe has done. I mean, Joe has had a great, great year. So I think he'll be there too. I think the Twins are going to have 2 All-Stars, and I think those 2 stand out to me. I mean, Cody Clemens, from a utility standpoint, he's been fantastic. He's been so good at the plate. He's been really sound defensively wherever he's been. First, second, right, center. I've liked him in center this year too. I don't think he'll get in, but just I think even bringing his name up in the conversation is deserving and worthy of the first half that he's had.
We'll continue this discussion here after a quick break here. Cory Provus joining us here this morning on Hot Mic. We'll preview the Twins' upcoming series in the Bronx. More with Cory Provus coming up on Hot Mic. Friday morning Hot Mic here the day before the 4th of July. Isaac Dieneston filling in for Dom Izzo here. We continue our conversation with the voice of the Minnesota Twins, Cory Provus, settled here at his hotel here in New York City. The Twins will be taking on the New York Yankees this weekend here. Mike Paredes on the bump tonight against Garrett Cole, and Zebby Matthews and Carlos Rodon tomorrow. With Joe Ryan then going on Sunday, we have this opportunity here for the Twins to play not only on the 4th of July in New York, but they're playing in New York at a time where the Yankees are not going so hot right now. What should fans be at least looking out for at least the beginning, or at least throughout this series here with New York?
I mean, the Yankees are battling some injuries. The Twins will not see Aaron Judge this series. They will not see Giancarlo Stanton this series. They will not see Max Fried this series. But the Yankees are getting some pieces back. They should be getting Trent Grisham back in center tonight. And Ryan McMahon, a really good third baseman, either tonight or tomorrow. There's also some food poisoning going around to the Yankee clubhouse that kept some guys out earlier in the week. But the Yankees have lost 7 in a row. They got swept in a 4-game series at Boston, came home and got swept at home by the Tigers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But I was listening to some local radio even this morning, and they view the Twins as their elixir because of just the dominance that the Yankees have had over the Twins for a long, long time. And to me, if the Twins can keep the pressure on, if Paredes can keep this New York offense and this lineup in the ballpark, the Yankees are not playing good defense right now. They have let in a ton of unearned runs the last almost now 20 games. I think striking early is big again tonight. That's what the Twins did so well in the month of June, putting up first-inning runs and forcing the opposing team maybe not to play the game that they prepared for, but also just, man, here we are, we're in catch-up mode, and off we go. And yet Garrett Cole's going tonight. This will be his 8th start since coming back from Tommy John surgery. His velocity's there, command isn't, and that's not uncommon. Guys coming back from Tommy John surgery, he's allowed 7 home runs in his first 37 innings. So that number's high. The ball's going to fly tonight because of the heat and the warm weather that we have tonight and again tomorrow. Might cool off a little bit more on Sunday. I think the ball is going to fly, especially out to right center, as we all know it can do and happen here so often at Yankee Stadium. So, yeah, I mean, the Yankees, they're going to be hungry. They're not complete, but what team is at this point? But I'm telling you that their fan base is like, this is the team we need. We need the Twins. We always beat them. That's kind of their mindset going into the series starting tonight.
Yeah, you don't even have to get me started. I've been watching this team like pretty much ever since that reign of dominance, that they had in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and through 2019. Yeah, I know all about that. So, and we have some resident Yankee fans here at WDAY as well. That
and a Mets fan.
Yeah, that one too.
And Dom is a Met fan.
Yep, but at least the Yankee fans in the room are like, this is at least kind of the stuff that you were alluding to here. This is a team that the Yankees may need here to run into. This weekend, notable because, again, 4th of July at Yankee Stadium, that's treated as such a huge event every year. And you're also going to get an opportunity to, though the game on Sunday will be on Peacock, you'll get an opportunity to call that game here on a national stage. We were just talking over the break here. What's it like, though, to get to be one at Yankee Stadium around this weekend, but also get that national audience this weekend?
Yeah, it'll be neat. On Sunday, it's on Peacock and also NBC Sports Network. A few of the games, it's called the Star Spangled Spectacular on Sunday, where the bulk of the games are going to be on one of the NBC platforms, Peacock, but then a few of the games also on NBC Sports Network. So that includes our game. On Sunday, I've been lucky enough to call games nationally for Fox and for Roku, but now for with this NBC family, I'm very excited. And to be at Yankee Stadium and do it is really going to be cool. So I'm excited for that on Sunday. It'll be a Joe Ryan start. He had a really good outing at Yankee Stadium last year, and hopefully he bounces back from a rare clunker that he had the other night in Houston.
Get an opportunity to do the game with Adam Ottavino and Anthony Rucker on that NBC staff there. They'll have 6:05 first pitch tonight, 12:35 tomorrow, and 12:35 on Sunday. After this Yankee series, you got a stretch of home games here between the Cleveland Guardians and the LA Angels before the All-Star break. Talk about, at least for a little bit, about what this stretch of 6 home games you think will mean here for this team, regardless of what happens in this Yankees series.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think it really sets the tone for I think, to me, thinking about the trade deadline, you go into the All-Star break, where are you at? And the Twins a year ago, I believe they were a game under 500, maybe 2 games under 500 at the break. And, they lost that last game. They nearly swept the Pirates. It was a series. They nearly swept the Pirates that weekend. They lost that final game that Sunday, but then they stumbled out of the break. And I will go back to the fact that that last game they lost to the Dodgers, I think, was the beginning of the end. And it was a game they had the Mookie Betts check swing that wasn't called a strike, and then the intentional walk to Ohtani, and Griffin Jax got mad, and then he walked to Stewie Ruiz, which he didn't want to do, and then Freddie hit the walk-off with a base hit to left field, and losing that game, going 2-4 on that road trip instead of 3-3, and then played poorly against Washington, Boston. Trade deadline comes, and 40% of the roster is gone. So I think, Cleveland is a team in front of you. Jose Ramirez is hurt. Won't see him. He's got a hamate bone injury. We'll see if the Twins get maybe Bailey Ober back on this homestand as well. Sounds like Ryan Jeffers. I don't think he'll be back. I don't think we'll see him, but he's going to be ramping up baseball activity even more than maybe, out of the All-Star break is kind of when I'm starting to think about when Ryan Jeffers might be back with the boys here, as long as he keeps on progressing in the way that he has. But, Cleveland, team in front of you, haven't seen them much so far this season, meaning we'll see them plenty the second half of the season. And the Angels are a bad team. I mean, the Angels are just a bad team. And if you want to hang in there or be a contending team right now, keep the foot on the pedal here and just, beat bad teams. And the Angels are a bad team. So that's to me, I think it's an important stretch. But starting on Tuesday night, off day Monday, Guardians and Angels to wrap up the first half.
And that Cleveland series, by the way, at least for those that'll be watching those games, you alluded to during the break, those will be analyst-only games that the Twins will be putting on here. So you won't hear fans will not hear from you, presumably, in that series. At least from a production perspective, what's it like to, still have, the team put something on of that caliber here, at least for the viewers here?
Well, I think fans will be excited that I'm not there. I think that they'll be pretty fired up that I'm on assignment for that series. It's going to be really, I didn't see a lot of it last year. I kind of saw little clips here and there, and it sounded like the boys were having fun. And Denard Span is going to be part of it this year as well. So it's going to be, Span and Plouffe, Perkins and Morneau. They're bringing Pablo back as well. He's going to join them, I think, for a whole game or a part of a game or whatever it's going to be, but he's going to be a part of it. And I know there's going to be one day where they're going to have, I think, Perk and Morney are going to be in the booth, and Trevor Plouffe's going to be near the left field foul pole, and Denard Span's going to be in the right field foul pole. So I think they're going to have just a lot of fun with it. I would imagine there's going to be some good gags back and forth, things that they've planned to kind of, take shots at each other. I think they're going to have a really good time, and I think Twins fans will enjoy it. But they're also meaningful games, too. I mean, it's, you want to have fun and do a good job, but then also remember that these are divisional games against a rival, against a team in front of you. And you won 2 out of 3 against them the first time you saw them, and now you get them at home for the first time. So these are not insignificant games. These are big games, but I think the boys are ready, and they're going to have some fun.
The broadcast nerd in me is ready to see what the production staff is cooking up then based on that description. Well, appreciate you for joining us here this morning, Cory. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk Twins with you again. As a longtime fan, I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to have this conversation with you.
Isaac, I enjoyed it, man. Great job, and happy 4th to you and everybody out there, and be safe this weekend.
Thank you, Cory Provus. Thank you so much. Voice of the Minnesota Twins on Twins TV. When we come back, we'll be talking even more baseball. Joe Schreiner, the president of the Wahpeton Baseball Association, will be previewing a big Legion baseball game in the region. Breckenridge versus Wahpeton. Bragging rights on the line. On Hot Mike next.